Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar on the AI course creator. I thought I would start a poll while we're waiting for people to join, so I'll just hit go on that. So feel free to answer that as you go. G'day Greg. The question relates to, I just wanted to see how many RTOs we have in here because I think it's obviously very a useful bit of software for RTOs, but it can be also used for non-accredited. So we do like to see all sorts joining. G'day Ray, how you going? Welcome those that are joining. We're just going through the poll at the moment, while we're waiting for everyone to join before we get started. Hi Navtej. Hey Matthew, how are you? Good to see faces. I think the last webinar I had, there was no cameras on, so I like to see people's faces. I might wait till 2 minutes and then I might end the poll. We have a question already. I consult to an RTO. Nice. Yes, Nicole, that's fine. Yeah, awesome. We'll definitely get some question time at the end of this presentation. So I'll let you guys ask whatever questions you want. I will do my best to answer them all. So certainly happy to do that. All right, let's end this poll. So it looks like we have a good portion of RTOs, which is good. Yeah, good cross section. That's good. I'll close that off. All right, so you'll note here I'm sharing my screen. I'll just make that big screen. So you'll see, let's get a start, hey? All right, so this is our AI course creator. The idea is we're gonna create an e-learning course and I'll actually demo it to show you how long it takes to do that. It will take some time, but we'll go through some questions while we're waiting for it to proceed. But the plan I had for today was to go through, firstly, introduce myself. My name is Mark. I'm the Business Development Manager here at eSkilled. We sell software, SMS and LMS software, as well as e-learning. And we are now, this product that we're releasing is called the AI Course Creator. So the plan I wanted to go through was what is the AI Course Creator? How does it work? We'll go through a practical demonstration of creating a course, editing a course, sharing a course, and also go through a little snapshot of how to create different themes. And then we'll go through how much it costs. So firstly, what is the AI Course Creator? So the idea is we're going to create SCORM files using an AI generation. The plan, it's an efficient and engaging way to create your courses. It's really easy to use. There's even, as you get to the end of creation, there's some AI editing as well. There's some rich media, and it's got rich media and interactive learning. and it integrates with pretty much any LMS, depending on how you want to use it. But yeah, it will do that. Now, why are we different? So we've been building this AI course creator for something like 12 months. We wanted to make sure that it met the standards for RTOs, and because we have our own instructional design team that creates our own e-learning, and because we, obviously software for RTOs as well, we wanted to make sure it met those guidelines for RTOs, and that's really hard in this space. And those who have tried to use AI, you will know that it's very hard. So we've got our own instructional design team, so it's really trained by how that works. It uses the tell, show, do methodology, which means that you are providing the information, you're providing a practical example or case study, and then you're doing some sort of quiz. So it's a real it will allow you to do that. Sorry, Adrian. Yes, we will have access to the recording afterwards. You'll be sent this recording, definitely. It also will speed up your design process, and it's got these beautiful themes that you can create for yourself, including your own logos and customization. I'll explain that a bit later. And it produces and publishes an interactive SCORM output. So, and you different to how I've presented this in the past, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be releasing you'll be able to download your SCORM files with the annual subscription of the plan. So that'll be something that probably excites a whole lot of you, I would hope. So that's going to be released very soon. So let's do a demo. I'll just get out of this. All right. So this is the interface. Like I said, very simple and easy to use. To create a course, you just hit the create a course button. And when you do that, it will open up. What we're going to do is we're going to be prompting an AI. So the plan I had to go through today was a CPR course, a HLTA 009 course that I have an example document for. It's probably the only one I was going to do today, but gives you an example. So first aid CPR. Now, the first question asked you to describe your course audience. So depending on who you're dealing with, there'll be a whole lot of people that deal with schools. There'll be a whole lot of like K to 12. There'll be a whole lot of people that deal with adult education. So you can really get pretty granular about how you describe your audience. It can be year 9 or 10 students with a year 8 reading level, or it can be, you can even put in your AQF standards if you want here into this space. You can even put in job descriptions, new employees with no previous work experience is the example they give here. But I've put in like technicians or doctors or whoever you're wanting to present to. So this is really good to put a lot of detail in here. Describe your course in detail. So firstly, let's put year 9 students here. Describe your course in detail. So this is where you would put a unit code. So I'm going to do that, HLTAID 009. Cardiopulmonary. I'm going to spell this incorrectly, but never mind. Oh, lucky spell check. And then you can attach, with this describe your audience, it can be also how you're delivering your course as well. You can put that in there. You can put a whole lot of detail on how you're wanting to present it. I might just put for beginners. Yeah, just as a little extra note. I'm going to add my curriculum reference document. So you can add any sorts of PDF files in here. This might be a unit of competency, curriculum document, learning resources. I don't know if there's any HR people in here, but you can do staff handbooks, policies and procedures. If you're going to do some sort of induction course, if you're doing software, You can do software manuals, technical manuals, product manuals, help documentation, um, industry-specific standards and guidelines. That could be a really good thing to put in here. Legislation, of course. So you can put lots of things in here. There is a small caveat at this point with any document that you upload, and this is an AI limitation at the moment. You can only upload up to 1 million characters in a PDF document. So that's something to note. But this is going up regularly. I think a couple of weeks ago it was 128,000. So it's going up exponentially. So you should know that. So I'm just going to upload a unit of competency here. I think I've got that in my downloads. HLTA ID. Oh no, it's might be in my. Did I go past it? No, it might be in my documents. Here it is. Yes. So I'll upload this document here. And what it'll do is it'll use that to to design the topic list that you're going to present. Obviously, I've misspelled beginners there. There we go. Horrible spelling. All right, so next we'll move on to the next step. Now this is where this system is really powerful. You can add a course context to your courses. So you can do a course depth and breadth. So for an accredited unit, generally I'll put a comprehensive depth and breadth here. This gives you more text essentially, because the initial point here is going to create text. But for this one, just so that we can get it out quickly, we'll just do an overview because we want to knock it out quickly. Now you'll note here reading level. It's because this is an international product, we've put age in here, but bearing in mind that if you put difficult, it's gonna be gonna put some language, quite high end language in here. So maybe drop a couple of grades if you're going to do it that way. So I'll do that. I'll just put standard here. Now, language. Now we have up to 86 different languages here. We're working on more, but there's currently up to 86 languages. One of the big benefits, one of the big downsides to AI is producing US-centric content. So at least you have English UK here, so it'll take away all the Zs and the color spelt with the OR instead of OUR. So we'll be able to make sure that your language is UK English. There occasionally you get little spatters of US English in there, depending on the document resources you upload and so forth. But it's pretty good at making sure it's UK English. Tone of voice. This is a really interesting one because it allows you to really make the content seem different. So casual, professional, funny, dramatic, excited. I like encouraging. Funny and dramatic can be quite over the top, so you might want to use that for something that a student really doesn't want to do the course, perhaps. Uh, so yeah, that's interesting. Now the country context is really important as well. Because obviously you'll see when you get this, when you're producing case studies and you're using ChatGPT or any other AI, you'll note that it really uses, like for instance, it uses US brands, it'll use, I don't know how many times I've got an output of Walmart, but not only that, it designs the course in a way that is for US audience. And you'll note, and when we produce the output, you'll see that it is going to really tailor it to an Australian audience. Best example of this is I did a retail course for a New Zealand company that do training for retail workers, and we produced a course, and it was able to pick up cultural greetings, and that's a really important factor in New Zealand, and making sure that it does the Maori greetings like the kia ora and so forth. So that was quite interesting. It actually showed that um, for the retail workers. Other contextual considerations. This is where I put the most text here. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but you can put cultural, social, economic, political considerations, legal, regulatory, environmental considerations, industry context. Really important. I have a client who deals with car dealerships, and so we put in that industry when we're doing the coursework for his business courses. It was really handy. Local, state, and regional context. So obviously we've got country context, but you can go beyond that and go state-based requirements. And obviously first aid will be important. So I'll put in Queensland laws here. Oh, in Queensland laws. All right. So I'm going to hit next. The next step is how it looks essentially. So we can put it under a category, is it, hospitality? We'll just use hospitality for this case. It might be health, but we haven't got that here. Topic is free or linear navigation. So do they have to progress through the course in a linear fashion, or are they able to just access the course, any menu item in the course? It's going to produce it in a rise format. So you'll see the menu system down the left-hand side and it'll be structured that way. So I'm just going to do free for this one. And then the last thing here is the course themes. Now we'll go into a bit of detail in this a bit later so you can see how much detail you can do. But I'll just sort of grab a theme here. You can completely customize the themes, including banners and logos. So we'll show you that in a bit. So I'll hit go on that. And the last step here is the quiz setting. So are you going to produce, do you want a quiz? And then are you doing single, multiple choice, and or true or false? At this stage, we've only got those two. This will expand over time. We'll add more to this all the time. We're already improving the product, and you'll note that when we get through to some new features that have been added. Now, select the number of quiz questions for each topic, subtopic. You can set a maximum, or you can let eBot decide. We'll do that. Quiz question navigation type. Do you require a correct answer to progress, or allow a progression on the wrong answer? So we're going to do that. Now, once I've done with this and I've chosen, this is how we've prompted it. That's all we've done. That's all it's taken. So you can generate a course manually. So you can just type in your topics if you want to. We we recommend starting with the AI generation and then editing them instead, because that will give you a better outcome, we think. So just jump in and hit generate. Now this part here will only take about a minute. And you've got your little eBot and he's painting his masterpiece, which is quite cute. We're going to add a little more of these sort of things as well, cute little animations. But yeah, this should only take about a minute, and what it'll do is it produced a topics list, topics and subtopics. And you'll be able to then move things around, edit them, delete the topics you don't want. You'll be able to, add your own, type in your own completely different topics if you want, and it'll produce using that as well. It's pretty handy. So yeah, this takes approximately a minute to do that part. And so we will do that. Hold on. I was just going to say, maybe we could hit back here and jump into the themes while we're waiting. So you can completely customize themes. So if I create a new theme, you'll note here that we can put in the theme name. I'll just go X through this just so we can get through. You can put a theme style. Now there's 5 different styles here. Oh no, 6 different styles here that you then essentially it's just where is your start button? How does it look as you're progressing into the course? Essentially, more than anything. So I'll just jump on that one. Add the cover page as the theme image. So you can do that. So I'll hit next. So this is the cover image. You can upload your own images. I'm just going to leave it just so you can see how it works. So the title font style, so this is just literally for the cover page, title fonts, sizes, colors, background images. You can see here that it's got a stylized image that then is used for instruction designers will know what this sort of image is, but you can alter that as well. Background image, start button colors. You can see how granular it can get. You can add your own, so you notice you can put your color codes in here. previews, all your specific fonts as well. Title backgrounds, you can put your logos and banners in here. You'll note we have a whole lot of fonts here, but you can actually, if there's a font that you would prefer to add in here, if you just send us the font, we'll add it to the system for you as well. But you'll notice that you can even get granular on different types of headings, heading 2, heading 3, paragraph, and pre-formatted as well. So you can absolutely do that. I've just saved it. Oops. Great. We've got our topic outline. So you can see here, responding to emergency, performing CPR actions, communicating incident details, reviewing incident. I reckon that's a pretty darn good list. But we can add, you can see you can add a subtopic, move things around. You just drag and drop. See how simple the editor is? It's very, very simple. And once you're happy with that topic list, you can generate content manually as well, or you can generate via AI. Now, this is where it takes a little bit of time. So what I might do is hit go on this. So I think there's about 15 or so topics in there. So that'll take us about 10 minutes or so. So let's hit generate on that. Great. And now the ebot's cooking. He drops an egg. He, he does a few things, which is quite funny. So what I might do while we're waiting for that, I might, before we get into pricing, maybe I'll put the floor out to ask some questions. So if anyone puts their hand up, I'll see if I can get my colleague Hein to allow your mic on, so you can ask the questions verbally, or feel free to ask in the question bar if you don't feel like speaking while we're waiting. I might even, if we don't have too many questions, I might even go into the pricing as well. I can sort of explain some of the extra features that you'll get to while we're waiting as well. Any questions at all? No? Makes sense? Surely, surely. Sure. Who's that? We've got Nicola and David. So go, Nicola. Can you unmute Nicola?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
so much. It wasn't so much a question. It was I've actually used the tool already.
Yeah,
So
sure. Feel free to ask me something from that then.
yeah,
Great.
at the moment, and I'm probably missed this. I think this is to do with the school and stuff anyway. So I can't. What I was looking at doing is how can I adapt it from a digital training module into something I can run in a workshop.
Sure.
So other than manually just trying to do that, so could you create like a workbook and a presentation from, is that going to be in future, I suppose,
Um,
versions?
well, I mean, it is creating a SCORM file. So essentially you could just do a real overview format where it only has sort of one page and then sort of flick
Mm,
through it that way if you're wanting a sort of presentation.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I would probably copy and paste the text
yeah,
into a presentation at this
sure.
stage. Eventually, we'll be able to do full summative assessments even with this, but right
Yeah,
now it's
okay.
really only the formative assessments and the content, and
Hmm.
obviously the images that we can produce with AI now
Yeah,
too, which is an
yeah,
extra
I
new
saw that.
feature that you probably add
Yeah,
saw added.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yes, the other, yeah, you could probably use it. You could probably get away with adding it as
Mm,
a if you've got a SCORM file using that to
yeah,
present. It just would
yeah.
have to be an overview, I would say, and you'd
That's
probably
right,
have
because
to
otherwise
sort
you're
of
in
make
death by
most of the
PowerPoint.
text.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, but but
Okay,
but
thank
you
you.
can certainly copy the text into a PowerPoint as well, which would certainly
Yeah,
be
yeah. And then you can
a
strip
way
out
to
what you don't
present
need.
it. Exactly. And then if that you do have
Mm,
someone doing the content in another way, like you might be having
mm,
some face-to-face delivery, some online delivery, you can really have the same information
mm.
given for both,
Yeah, yeah.
which might be
Okay.
a good way to do things. But yeah,
Yeah,
eventually we'll have lots of different things that you can add with here, but it's not really designed. It's designed to deliver online.
yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
you may want to be a bit more summary with
yeah.
PowerPoint, I would say.
Okay,
Um, No worries, Nicola. David? Sorry, David, you're muted still.
I am now. I'm not now. I was, but now I'm not. Yeah, look, I've got a couple of questions related to the model training. How was the model trained?
Yeah.
And the contextual relevance of the training that was performed.
hmm
Um, Things like I know you just mentioned that it was for formative. I think you said it was formative rather than summative assessments. Is that right?
Correct. At this
Yeah.
stage.
Okay. So
Eventually, it'll get to summative assessments, but right
right.
now, in this sort of first iteration, I probably almost
Yep.
consider this second iteration, but first iteration, um, it is really only formative assessments at this stage. But
All
we're
right.
adding things to it all the time,
Okay.
including, obviously when you're adding resource documents to it, you're going to be able to use some of the information for summative, but it's not certainly not designed to create summative assessments.
Yeah. Mainly my
In
question was
regards to
around summative.
training,
Yeah.
yeah. Not yet. Coming. We'll get there. Um, the other
And
thing, sorry, yeah.
yep, sorry, and also in terms of using the platform in regard
hmm
to um, if we are building our courses and that, and we're adding our own
hmm
content to it, that's possible, is it?
hmm
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
would suggest uploading into a document and using the document because the document's going to be able to really guide the way your topics come out. They'll
okay,
use your topics first, your documents first, before going to the internet. Even though it'll probably backfill the space if you haven't got something really top notch. I don't know. I'm sure your stuff's
okay.
top notch, David,
Well,
but
no, no, no,
yeah.
no. So I'm just thinking about laterally about so in doing that, and again, regard to the training and the model in the background there,
Mm,
intellectual property isolation. So, for example, we're uploading our materials and whatnot. Does that go into
mm.
training the model, and therefore our IP becomes accessible to others?
No, no.
No,
So,
good, okay.
so we use the API version of ChatGPT 4.0, the Omni version.
Hmm.
Um, so but it's the API version, so it's
Yes,
internal into our own space. Um, the prompt still gets pushed forward, right? So the only thing I would say that is the information from the prompt will get pushed into the model, just because it's pushing it into ChatGPT
well, it
outside
can't work if
using
you
the
don't. Yeah,
API.
that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if that makes sense. But it's within your own little um, locked space. And we do have the ISO 27001 certification. So what that means is that it's a very secure platform. And your data is your data, which is really important part of what we're doing here.
excellent.
Um, did that answer all your questions there, David, or did you have anything else?
Yeah, it did. Thank you very much. Yep, that's great.
Great,
Thank you.
great. Next one was Navtej. Hello, this is an option. Is there an option for animation or videos? You'll see this when I go through the editor, you'll be able to add your videos in. In regards to image creation, there's a new part of the platform that we're using AI to generate images as well, and I'll show you how that works in a minute. But at this stage, we're not creating videos with the AI, but in future, it won't even be far away. I think probably 6 months or so, you'll be able to up record yourself, teaching, and it'll be able to teach the content. It'll be you teaching the content rather than you recording yourself doing it and then uploading it. So you'll be able to use yourself as a the AI will actually create you delivering the course, which is quite insane. but it's definitely available and something we're working on right now. And another one, can we input a PDF with our current resources? So that this tool, yes, will hold on. This tool can improve these, maybe give an Australian flavor. Absolutely. Yeah. So I recommend uploading your PDF documents into the space. You saw the PDF had resources. It's what it's gonna do is use that for your topics. So it's definitely going to be able to like flesh out what you're wanting to achieve. Definitely. I would say give it a try too. Have a play with it and see what produces your best results. All right, so we've got a course here. So what it's doing is we're in the editor right now. So you can also come in and edit those topics that we saw before and change them and regenerate. Um, you'll note here that it's going to produce text. It's not going to produce images straight off the bat, right? It's up to you to then add the images in. The editor is really easy to use. So you can image, single column, image above, left, right, 2 columns, 1 column, add video on top, audio. You can add in accordions. So if I'm adding an accordion item, I can just sort of copy the text from my space. Obviously for this introductory part, I probably wouldn't do that. Oh. Um, you can also, so if I want to add an image here, I'm just going to add one below and we're responding to an emergency situation. So I was going to ask for someone to pop in what you want me to generate, but but I might just sort of relate it to the topic. How about that? So generate via AI. This is really cool. Now, a lot of image generation with AI, you need to prompt it really well to get a good output, but this will help you do that. Now, let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to type in the actual name of this bit. So responding to an emergency situation. And so what I'm going to do is generate detailed description. And what it's going to do is give a really detailed description. So a team of paramedics is seen urgently attending a patient lying on a stretcher with flashing red and blue lights from the nearby emergency vehicles illuminating the scene. The responders are focused and calm, equipped with medical gear, working swiftly to provide immediate care. The background shows a crowd of concerned onlookers and police officer is directing traffic away from the area. I can put in a Queensland. You can edit this, is what I'm trying to say. I'll see if that works. If this is testing it, I'm thinking, but flashing red and green lights from nearby emergency vehicles. So we'll just say Queensland again. See if it populates that. Actually, maybe I just Queensland. We'll make sure it's done properly. Hopefully this works. Let's see. It's going to test it. This takes about 20 seconds to generate an image. Meanwhile, I'll answer some questions. Matthew, hi Mark, since we are generating assessment tool learning resources, how can we add the final sign-off part to the trainer to mark the student off? Okay, so, oh, that was quick. Look at this, Queensland. Look at that. It's an awesome image. It's even got the Queensland emergency vehicles. It's very spot on there. I was worried about that, whether it would actually do it. There you go. Generating an assessment tool. Yeah, okay. So this isn't summative assessments. This is only formative. So the quiz is just going to be a basic quiz. It's designed for you to know that the students actually read the content above. It's not meant for a supervisor sign off as yet. So summative assessments is where you would do that. If you really need that as part of this content, I would recommend doing no quiz here and then putting the quiz into your LMS instead, because that'll allow you to be a little bit more structured in what you do. You can even sort of produce it, delete the quizzes, and then add the quizzes in as a summative assessment in your LMS. But yeah, you certainly aren't going to get short answer questions here yet. Eventually we'll be able to do that, and even AI grading will come as part of it as well. But this is a little bit further down the track. Apologies, Mark. I have to leave the session. Yeah, no problems, mate. We'll send you through the recording. No problems, Matthew. All right. So pretty interesting generated image. I don't know if anyone has any comments on that, but it looks pretty good. You'll notice the information is quite top notch. It's it's pretty much what the document says. I don't know how good the document was, but it's pretty much exactly what the document says, um, with with some flair, like you said, added extra content. The other thing you can do is highlight bits of text here. Let's say I want this to be a little bit more. Okay, I can use the AI to expand this text, and it will then expand the text, and generate more text, to go with it. Obviously, I've done an overview, so there's not a whole lot of text here. So this might have been good for Nicola's presentation because it wasn't much text, but you'll note here they've added a bit more to it. And there you go. There's some extra information, and they've put in, for example, imagine you're at Bondi Beach in Sydney, right? So the case studies are really tailored to Australia, um, as well. And you can regenerate them too. So the AI assistant also allows you to generate more practical examples. So if you don't like the one you want, you can just delete the text, add in your own ones, copy and paste the text into another section if you want. You can really move things around, drag and drop. It's a really simple editor, which is, I think, really good. Um, And all right, let's do a preview. I just want to show you the quiz part. Obviously, if you do a proper preview, you're going to see the start page and all of that. But I just want to jump straight into this quiz so I can show you how the quiz works. Which one of the following actions should you take if the casualty is lying in the middle of the road and is safe to do so? Leave them where they are. Perform CPR immediately. Ask bystanders to move on. Move them to the side of the road. Um, Notice it says safe to do so, so I think that's the answer, but I will. Oh, sorry, I hit next. Oops. True or false? Casualty is gasping for breath. Do they need CPR? False. It's a breath thing. So you'll see here, if I just pick anyone and hit submit, you say good try. Now notice that's because I'm not allowing progression on the wrong answer. So I'll need to retry that one. So yeah, it does single multiple choice and true or false. So yeah. Um, oh, it didn't show me. Maybe it was in this section here. Where did I put the image? Did I not save the image? Oops. Never mind. Shall I hit save? I didn't save the changes. Let's refresh this. And actually, it'll go back to the start when I refresh it. Oh, no, it won't. Thought it would. Notice it's really RISE format. Do I have any questions on that, or is that everyone pretty make understand that? Does it look pretty good? Any comments even? No, everyone's good. All right. Awesome. I think the real key here is the time, right? It takes us approximately 6 weeks, 4 weeks to create the content of a course, and another 2 weeks to create the e-learning. Generally, if it takes about that long, you'd be able to knock this out in a day with adding in your images, moving things around, make it look really nice in a day, and generating as many images as you want. So it's really handy there. Hold on, what was the next thing we're going to do? Pricing. Oh, how to share your course. All right, so you'll note here, I'll just save this and move it back to the courses. You can see I've got my course there. You can obviously edit it. You can preview it. If I hit the three dots here, you can then share that. So if you have the first part of it is enabling LTI. So if you have an LMS with LTI compatibility, I would recommend using LTI with this because it will allow you to bring the content back and forth. It'll be just, it's sort of like a window into the content, but also pulling the progression data back into your LMS. If anyone has any questions about different LMSs, I know a few of them and what they have, but But yeah, you can certainly use most LMSs that have LTI compatibility. You can also use generate course preview iframe code. So you can actually just have a window into the content if you want. Downside is if you're wanting progression data, or if you want to know if the student's actually completed the course, the iframe isn't going to give you that information. So it's really more of just a window, whereas the LTI will bring progression data through the course. The other thing to note here is the generation credits. So you saw how much content I put in here. It's only taken 36,000 credits to generate this. Obviously, if you're producing a more comprehensive course, it might get up to 150, even 180 if you're adding lots of images as well. But you'll note that an overview is going to really cut back the amount of generation credits you use. But you get quite a lot per month for each package. I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing you'll be able to do is download the SCORM files. Now, this will only be available on the annual subscription, right? But you'll be able to download the SCORM files and then upload them into most LMSs have access to SCORM, so you'll be able to do that too. You can also, if you're using an iframe, you can copy the iframe onto a website. If you don't really care about progression and you just want to give a bit of content for people on a website, you can just paste an iframe into a website, or really onto anything that has HTML code. Any questions about any of that? Does that make sense? Can the system estimate the time it should take a user to complete the course? No, it won't estimate that. That'll be something you'll have to do manually. So I would check through, do a good check through course. It's important to review the content that's produced as well. I mean, at the end of the day, this is AI presenting this, so it's not going to be perfect. It's going to do a really great job of producing the content, but I'd recommend reviewing the content and, of course, doing those sort of, estimations to determine how long it would take a student to go through that part of the course, of course. Definitely. I would just stick to comprehensive if you're doing accredited units. Just one thing to note there. Comprehensive is going to give enough information for an accredited unit. Overview is really more so that you can populate other bits of information, like we said before with Nicola with the PowerPoint, for instance. You can use the text for a PowerPoint and then expand on that yourself. As well. The other thing you can do is generate a course and then regenerate it with more context, or maybe you have one with an overview and one with a comprehensive, or one with different industry contexts. Or because you can produce things really quickly, it means that sky's the limit as to what you can do with it. Because if, let's say, you get a client that comes in with a particular industry body, you can just produce a course for them and then add create a different LMS course for that particular client, which is really handy as well. I think the last thing, no, no worries, Lana. The last thing I wanted to go through was the pricing. I think we've gone through everything else. So there's two plans you can go with. So you can go with the monthly plans. Like I said, you can't download the SCORM files with the monthly plans, but you can cancel anytime. We also offer now a 14-day free trial. I think initially it was only a 7-day free trial, but it's now a 14-day free trial. The base package gives you 1 course credit. That's the person creating the course. 5 gig of included storage. If you're uploading videos, I recommend linking them via YouTube or Vimeo instead of uploading them, because otherwise you'll probably chew through that data really quickly. You can also add to the data though too, if you don't want to do that and you just want to pay for the data. We have, if you scroll down, you can add more generation credits, and I think it's $1.50 per gig thereafter per month. So you can absolutely add more space to it. 750,000 generation credits. Like I said, we only used 36,000 in that first course that I did. But if you're doing 150,000 per course, you probably only get 5 courses a month. But if you're doing a comprehensive, I'd probably think about 5 generally about 5 courses a month. Um, and obviously, as you upgrade, you get into more content, more creators, 10 million generation credits a month. This is obviously going to be able to be pretty powerful at that ultimate plan. Now, when you move to annual, you save 2 months because 890 becomes 890. So $74 a month instead of 89. So pretty good to do that. I would suggest, and certainly, the benefit of the SCORM uploads. Do I have any more questions? I think we've pretty much got through everything that I wanted to discuss. Feel free to go, no stupid question, guys. Happy to answer anything at all. And if no one has any questions, oh, Ray, yes, Ray. You'll have to unmute, Ray, if you're talking. Does it not work? No worries, Susan. Yay, Ray, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
we're in business.
Oh, great.
Mark, with a SCORM file, can
Yeah.
you open it without going to an LMS system?
I would doubt it. There's ways to do it, I think, with other bits of software, but a SCORM file is like a packaged file. It's like so the answer is no to that. But Ray, remember you can generate a preview image, right? So if you need to at any point in time, you can just hit generate preview pre generate course link preview link, right? And that's just a
Right.
link to a website with the course in it, right? That's the preview link. So it will then be able to be displayed. Of course, you need to have a subscription to be able to view the link. But
Yes.
again, yeah, if you're wanting to download your SCORM files, I would recommend utilizing an LMS. Are you a non-accredited provider, Ray, or what do you do?
That's correct. Mark, I have bought a course off you, off
Oh, yes.
off eSkilled.
Off
I've got
eSkilled,
the
yeah.
SCORM file, but I can't check it on. And the main reason was that I bought that course was to check out how good they were prior
Yeah,
to
okay.
buying any more.
Well, if you need to preview it, I can jump into our editor and add it for you just so you can see if you need to. So we can do that offline if you like. Um,
Okay.
Ray, are you an RTO or are you a non-accredited
We're,
provider?
we're in the process of being registered.
Okay, so part of that process you'll need to get a student management system. um, because you won't be able to register yourself as an RTO without it. Um, so learning management system, obviously, if you're doing online content, you may want to do a learning management system as well. We have both. So I'm happy to talk to you after this and go through what our system can do for you and show you how it can help you with your RTO. Becoming an RTO one, and we also have new RTO packages as well, which will allow you to have some free time to use the software as well.
Right.
So we'll touch on that afterwards. I'll make a note to reach out to you, Ray.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, I think I had another more questions. Nicola, I write a few more courses and see how it goes. See, I found, yeah. Uh, so you found it useful. Nicola, feel free to chat up. Yeah, if you found it really useful, that's some good advice for everybody here. Feel free to. Yes. Oh, okay. Matthew, if we generated courses as standards, could we regenerate into comprehensive without repeating the whole process again? Yes. Yes, you can. But I'd probably save your text anyway. You can go back into the you know into the input section and you can re-input it. So you duplicate it and then re-input the text. And yes, is the answer to that. Can you quickly browse through the courses you've just created? Yeah, of course. So this is the course here, First Aid and CPR. We've got the image there. You can obviously change the way that the image is displayed, of course. Quiz. We've done a quiz per topic and subtopic, but obviously you can delete any that you don't think are necessary. Do you have any? Feel free to jump on off your mic, Navdej, Tej, if you want to speak. Is there anything that you want to see specifically here? No? Thank you. Yes, it's being saved, mate. Yeah, you can certainly review the text that is here. But I would suggest trying it out yourself, and checking it yourself. That's all good. That's all good. All right. All right. Well, if I don't have any more oh, we do. We do. Ray, feel free to unmute. Oh, off. Yeah, okay. That was for the previous question. Adil, feel free to jump in now. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I've tried it on a trial basis. I liked it, to be honest with you. But one thing I
Great.
wanted to understand is what's the difference? Do we need to have an LMS for you to host these courses, or does this
So
resource
tell me about what you're trying to achieve, Adil. Like, what are you a non-accredited provider or are you an RTO?
in between?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to become an RTO
Mm-hmm.
and you're wanting to use e-learning content, I
Mm-hmm.
would recommend purchasing an LMS because you'll need to, as part of delivering a course online, you'll need to make sure
Mm-hmm.
you have summative assessments. And this system won't allow you to do summative assessments. So this, if you're wanting to do, the only reason I would say to utilize to not use an LMS would
Mm-hmm.
be to is if it's non-accredited content and
Yes,
it
and
doesn't,
that's yes. So
yeah.
for non-accredited courses, does it act like a platform to host the courses, or it's just to generate the courses?
Um, it will store the courses for you and help you generate them, and it will allow you to review them via like a preview link, or you can use the iframe code and then put it onto any website. So it's so the preview link is obviously you're not going to get any data. Um, so if you're wanting to actually know if the student has completed the course, then you're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to need something to review that. And like I said, we have access to a student and learning management system that I can explain will do a whole lot for your business. I'd be surprised if you weren't impressed by what our system can do. So yeah, Nicola just said I created 2 courses, one short and one long. Similar content was really useful to see the comparison. Plus, I've created one manually by mistake. I deleted the course and then started again. Yes, I don't think the bosses know that you can delete the content. Of course, you wouldn't be able to then use it because the trial ends at a certain time, of course. But and you certainly can't download the content unless you have an annual subscription. So it's a good if you need to have a third test, feel free to just delete a course and do it again. No troubles there. Sorry, yeah. A deal. I really would recommend utilizing an LMS. And that goes for everyone here. If you're delivering content online, you really want an LMS. If you're delivering non-accredited content and you have a website that you can just host it, then that's fine. Obviously, you just don't know when they've completed the course, so you may want to do that. So that's why I would recommend utilizing an LMS here. Um, like I said, it is a preview, but yeah. Does that answer your question, Adil?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. yeah, feel free to reach out after, and we can certainly, I can demo you the whole hog and how it works, from go to woe with LMS and student management as well. So can do that. So if I have no more questions, feel free to ask any last questions. We've got plenty of time. Any last questions? No? No. That's great. Well, thanks everyone. We'll send the recording after this session. If you have any questions at all, feel free to pop them into the questions. I think we can review the questions afterwards. The other thing to note here is that you can always reach out to eSkilled, and either myself or any one of my colleagues can probably answer a whole lot of questions here as well. We will obviously be reaching out after this anyway, if you're not a client already, just to see if you wanted to go ahead with the trial. Oh, actually, speaking of which, we do have, let me just present this part. Hold on, switch displays. So yeah, feel free to scan the QR code for your free trial. Forgot about that part. Feel free to do that, guys, if you haven't done it already. And yeah, thanks for your time, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.